Right, we're in. Good evening, everyone. We've got a bit of an audience. It's a bit different. It's the first time we've taken the SRMC Tribe podcast on the road. We're at a venue we've been to before and known well with Ben Garwood and the team at HR4K. It's a pretty quality place, as you can probably see from the background. We've got a bit of a band on later, bit of a shout out to them. We'll give them a good shout in a minute. And obviously a free bar, so it's going to be a bit of a messy night, which probably good with the character we've got in the chair at the moment.
Even better, free bar.
Yeah. So let me introduce, for those that don't know, and Andy's going to say a bit about himself, but we've got in the chair in front of us, pretty topical because we're right in the middle of a Lions tour, just about to take the first test. Got a Wales, Lions, Wigan Rugby League legend. We say legend?
No.
Character of the game.
Nowhere near a legend.
Oh,
I just played fun. Just had it for a bit of fun.
In the golfing world, you're a legend.
Pardon?
In the golfing world, you're a legend.
We'll get to that story.
We'll get to that one. I'll take it, though.
Andy, we can't start with that one. So, Andy Powell, welcome. Obviously, we've spoken. We've got some mutual friends from rugby, and Pete being a fellow Welshman, and you had your first win at the weekend, so a little round of applause for Wales. They cracked that 18 losing streak. But yeah, awesome to have you on, mate. You know, I said, one of the biggest characters of the game, and we played all a similar era, obviously not to your level, but, you know, we know enough about you to say you'd be a pretty good guest on here. So, yeah, let's start off. I think Pete got a story from the Valleys, maybe, but... sorry, before we start...
Just drop it on him like that.
Just to warn you, those that don't know, those that know Pete well, he has got a cough. If he starts coughing, looking like he's dying, he's not actually dying. Well, he'll get through that, but yeah. On to the night. Keep getting in the bar. Cheers.
Mate, obviously, big thanks for coming today. We normally do these where people give us sort of a story and we interject with sort of questions, but this will probably be more question-focused. You know, obviously, we've got questions of the audience, but a little bit different our podcast you've done before, some of the ones we've sort of seen. Maybe start off telling us, where you're from, sort of how you going to rugby, leading up to your sort of first cap, from the day you were born, if that's okay.
Fucking hell. Well, I'm from Brecon. It's not far away from here. Brought up in a little village called Pennorth. Mum and Dad, I'm the only child, by the way. I think they see me come out and they thought, fucking no more kids like him.
That explains a few things.
Yeah, it does explain a lot. And I've always been one of those kids. I never wanted to play rugby, and I didn't start playing rugby till I was 14. Wow. So I went to Brecon High School. Did athletics, was quite quick, did 100 metres, 11.6. And I used to go away on the weekends on a bus with a load of athletics people, and I just thought to myself, this is the most fucking boring sport I've ever been in my life. And then I remember coming home the one night, and Dad had come in from work, Mum was working in the army, and I was a bit upset, and the old man knew there was something up. He said, what's up with you, boy? I said, oh, nothing, it's fine. He goes, you're getting bullied. I said, no. I was. So I said, yeah, I am. He goes, right, tell me the person who it was. And it was a guy called Neil Samuels, one of the biggest bullies in school, and he used to nick my lunchbox, punch me in the face.
He's actually here tonight.
Yeah, good to see you, mate, yeah. So my old man goes, right, what we'll do, you go in tomorrow morning, you sort your problems out in school, punch him straight between the eyes and break his nose. And if you get expelled, I'll take the consequences. I said, Dad, I'm not doing that. He goes, right, you can come in a truck with me now. We'll drive up the guy's house and I'll deck his old man in front of you. I said, you can't do that, Dad.
That was cool.
So I had no option. I went to school the next morning. They nicked the rucksack off me, started kicking me on the floor. I got up, punched this guy straight between the eyes, broke his nose, straight into the headmaster's office, got expelled, got home. Mum kicked off. She goes, Gethin, what have you done? And then I ended up playing rugby. Went to Llandovery College, played in Rosslyn Sevens, one of the biggest Sevens competitions, scored 16 tries, let in 32 tries. My defence was shit. And I ended up having this roller coaster ride. I do wonder sometimes how the fuck I did it, but yeah. What a great
sliding doors
story.
moments. So that was it. So I was assuming it took off quite quickly. I know your first cap took a bit of while coming, but into professional rugby, timed it quite well. I know we're similar ages, I'm a bit older, but you would have been at that era of probably just as you were leaving school, rugby was just turning professional, or had only been a couple of years in, was it?
Yeah, so I turned professional in 2001. And I think, you know, it was probably at that cusp where it was getting bigger.
Well, how old then?
17, I signed my first professional contract, 36 grand a year.
Oh.
Decent that age.
And I had a gambling problem from the age of 14, so... And I'll tell you a little story about that. Yes, we can have a laugh about it, but it's quite a good little story. So I went to sign this contract, and I said to Jim McCready, the team manager, I said, I can't sign the contract. He said, is the money not good enough? I said, it's nothing to do with the money. I said, I got a gambling problem. So at the age of 14, my old grandfather used to come up the drive looking for the old man, and he said, I got a tip for him today at Goodwood. Can you go up the top of the field? He was digging a trench with the JCB. He said, go up and tell him I got a tip. Couldn't find him. I used to drive the old man down the pub in a Toyota Hilux when I was 8 and 9, so I knew how to drive. Mum had left a car in the driveway. So I thought, risk it for a biscuit, 2.9 litre injection, 4x4. I thought, fuck it. Took the car into town, 8 miles into Brecon, managed to get 120 miles an hour out of it when I was 14. Owen Dillon was probably working on the beat then. And pulled outside William Hill. There was a guy called Neil, and he goes, Andy, too young to be in here. I said, grandfather's got a tip. He goes, fucking get in here now, put the bet on now, fuck off. 25-1, Riverside Dancer, it won, 125 quid on it. And from that moment, I got addicted to gambling. Wow. So I signed this professional contract. I've had 11 different clubs, sorry, in my whole career. My mother has taken 15% of every single contract. And when I turn 45, which is a year in August, I get £375,000 off my old girl.
That was a smart move.
And do you know where I'm going to go when I get it? Fucking Vegas.
Red or black? Put it all on, red or black? No, don't do that, mate. Hopefully not. I'm assuming you had some big wins along the way. I know gamblers always say that. They have some bad ones, but you have some big wins as well.
I've stopped now, but I've had some big ones. I've lost a lot, but...
What are we talking numbers?
98 grand, the biggest one. I put 60 grand off the mortgage, and I went to Vegas then after the Lions tour, so that went. Yeah, silly things you do, but I've got 2 kids now, and I think they're the most important part of my life. So if you go gambling, you're wasting their opportunity for what you can get them.
Yeah, so first contract, was that Cardiff or Newport?
Newport. So we had a guy called Ian McIntosh. Yeah. I don't know if you remember him, a crazy looking guy, South African. Yeah. And I was very raw to the game. Yes, I could run hard with the ball, but defensively and sort of line-outs and stuff, I was way, but I'd only started playing when I was 14. But he took a shine to me, and we had 2 great years there, 16 tries the first season, a bit like the Sevens. But I went missing a bit then, and yeah.
In what way you went missing?
Well, you know when you never want to be a rugby player and you have to deal with the professional, you shouldn't be drinking much, and I was drinking pretty much 4 nights a week, where probably only should be drinking after a game on a Saturday. And I was still fit. I was still beating everybody in fitness, but other people weren't liking that I was still drinking and showing up in fitness. And, I couldn't really change the way I was. I'm a guy from Brecon, just wanted to have fun. And all I wanted to do was play for Brecon. And when you're in the limelight as well, I struggled with that.
Is that why you couldn't move clubs so much, is it?
Well, yeah, probably was. And then I went to France.
Why France? Obviously, I know the money's good out there.
Well, they offered me 180 grand a year, so I thought, fuck, I'll have a bit of that.
Were you still young? Pretty young?
I was 19, and there was a guy called Bruno Zama, French agent. He rings me up and he said, would you like to go to France? He said, they're offering you 180 grand a year, a villa, a car. I thought, yeah, I'm going. I can hardly speak English, but I thought I'd give the French language a go. Yeah. And I remember, right, we flew out from Bristol. It was my dad's brother, Alan. He was in the Welsh Guards. My 2 cousins, Ian and James. And we flew out. We met the agent. He took me to the car garage, picked up the Nissan car with Andy Powell on it, Bezier Rugby Club. And I'm thinking, wow, sponsored car. And took me to the villa. Beautiful villa. Swimming pool. I'm thinking, I'm living like a footballer's dream by here. He said, right, what are you going to do now? You're going to follow me back down to the bull ring where the matador fights the bull. And you've seen it on YouTube, but you've never seen it in real life. So I thought, yeah. So I pulled up outside. Must have had about 8 bottles of Heineken. And I said to my agent then after, I said, how am I going to get from here? He goes, the police will escort you now to the nightclub. I thought, fuck, 5 and drive in Wales. And you're getting escorted by the police. So they took us to the nightclub. And I went to the bar and I said, can I get 4 shots of vodka and 4 cans of Red Bull? They said, we only do it by the bottle. So I got 4 bottles of vodka and about 15 cans of Red Bull. 4 o'clock come, the siren goes off. And I went to one of the players at the time. I said, how are we going to get from here? And I'm not telling, this is the truth. These coppers escorted me onto the A1 in France. And 1 car was in front, 1 car was behind. And we're going down the A1 about a mile away from the villa. My cousin rips a handbrake up on me. I go down this bank, through this vineyard. Lucky enough, the vineyard was small bushes. Wind mirrors caved in, windscreen smashed. First day in France, less than 12 hours. Back to the villa. Police just let me go. I thought, brilliant, car was in there. Training the next morning. So I seen the stadium. I parked about 2 miles away from the stadium. And then I was walking in with my kit bag on, and there was a guy called Jean-Pierre Elissard, one of the legendary number 9s to play for France. He goes, do you mind if I have a quick chat with you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my God, he knows. So he pulled me into the meeting room, and he goes, you're a quick number 8, we've got a good 9, good 10. Do you mind watching a few clips on the TV? So I thought, perfect, you don't know. So the first clip, 8 was picking up, 12 hard off the 8, winger at the back, 13 short, 14, 15. Can you do that? I said, yeah, I can do that. Second clip, quite similar. Then the third clip come, the TV gone blank, and all you could see was this Nissan car leaving the A1, down this bank, headlights going like this through this vineyard trying to get out, and you see him going back onto the A1. And he said, was this you?
But you can speak French.
Yeah, that's very good. And I said, yes, it was. And it was a bit of a pause. He said, just to let you know, that's my fucking vineyard.
No.
I lasted 6 months. The coach's vineyard. You couldn't write it. I lasted 6 months in France. But I tell you...
Well, you didn't rip it up on the spot, though.
But no, not on the spot. I played a few games, but no, I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Bit of a common theme going on here with the driving.
Yeah. My twin brother was a right twat.
So what was next after France?
So I went to the Scarlets, played 53 games, sort of turned myself around, started to become more of a professional.
You're getting a bit of Welsh recognition then? Not...
I jumped the gun then. I went to Leicester Tigers. I was on my dad's Christmas do in Brecon, and Christmas do's are the best. And I had a phone number, didn't know it on my phone, so I answered, and it was Dean Richards from Leicester Tigers. He said, you need to be in training tomorrow morning. Lewis Moody's gone down injured. He's going to be out for a while. I said, I'm on my own man's works do. I said, I'll see you Wednesday. He goes, that don't work like that with me. I thought, right. So mum, good mum, takes me up to Leicester, takes me to the place where I was staying, knocked on the door, and Josh Kronfeld was the guy I had lived with for a bit.
Legend.
And he goes, do you fancy a few scoops? I said, not really. I said, training tomorrow, I need to be on top of it. He said, I thought you Welsh guys loved to drink. He goes, you're a bit of a pussy, you are.
Oh, no.
And I said, right, I'll come out for another few scoops. So I went into training, met Martin Johnson, and that was a reality check, I think. But he said to me, the words he said, you've got an abundance of talent to become a really good rugby player, and all you're doing is pissing up against the wall and making yourself look like a twat. And he was right. But the thing, before you play for the Leicester first team, you have to play for Leicester A. And we played Newbury away, 4 tries, played really well. Doncaster, then we played Worcester, and we played Sale away. We're losing 4 points down, last play of the game. 9 goes to me, Austin Healy goes to me. I wanted to pick the ball up, pass me in the corner. I want to become the all-time record break try scorer for Leicester A. Crouch, bind, engage. And all I could think to myself, there is no way this prick is having the ball. So I picked the ball up, handed the flanker off. Bit like when Matt Dawson did a dummy over the top, detachment, but it wasn't as good as that. And I can remember just throwing in the ball, and his hands went up, and I thought, I'm going to make you look like a kipper. Scored the try, all celebrated, and he comes up to me and he said, what the fuck are you doing? I said, Austin, there is no way you're going to get a ball off a Welshman. And I lasted 6 months in Leicester, but I went on to the Scarlets then. 53 games, but I was...
I'd have thought the Leicester lads would have loved that, though.
Oh, mate, they were great. You know, it was back in the day where you train hard, right? Old school, you'd have a few beers.
Load of fighting and just how they trained.
But it was a different mentality. But, I loved it.
Wasn't you considered like the fittest player in the Scarlets team at that time?
I want to say the Scarlets. I think the Blues, I was fit. That's when Di Young sort of got hold of me. And then everything just come together.
Talk about fitness, mate. Wasn't there a story of you doing a fitness test in weightlifting shoes?
So that was in Sale with Steve Diamond. So
you forgot your shoes.
He'd taken me out on the Saturday, Sunday, to a nightclub in suburbia.
Was the coach?
The coach took me out, but I was the highest paid player, 280 grand a year. And I forgot my trainers, so I had to do it in my weight shoes. And I think I came about 16th out of 30. And he said, I thought you were supposed to be fit. But I changed that around. And yeah.
Going back, this might be a myth actually. When we were chatting earlier on, we had some stories off one of the old Welsh coaches that we both know, and he said, you phoned in sick for training, started coughing on the phone to Di Young, so I can't come in and not very well. And he said, I'm behind you in the traffic lights, you're in the car in front of me.
So there was a bit of snow about, and I said, Di, I rang him up, I said, mate, I'm snowed in Brecon. I said, we get a lot more snow in Brecon and Cardiff. So I went on social media and typed in snow in Brecon. There was no snow. And I sort of got a picture, but I didn't realize there was a bit below that it would come off social media. And so he believed me for a bit. So I was single at the time, so I went down to Cardiff. And yeah, he's ringing me and I'm thinking, do I answer the phone? I thought, yeah. I said, you know, he goes, what are you up to? I said, I was just stuck in the house. He goes, no, you're not. He goes, you're in front of me in the car. So he fined me, I think, about 3 or 4 grand. And then I ended up playing for Wales at the age of 28 against the world champions in the stadium, which I never thought I'd play for Wales.
I'll say, yeah, it was a long time coming, wasn't it? When you were in the Welsh squad?
Well, I was in the Welsh squad at the age of 21. I played for under 18s, 19s, 21s, Wales A, Wales 7s. And I had this phone call on a Sunday night. Same thing, don't know the number. Warren Gatlin, just come in. He goes, you're starting against the world champion South Africa in the Millennium Stadium next Saturday. And I went to ask him what time's training. He put the phone down to me. So I knew where it was. So I trained, met everybody. Tuesday train, Wednesday train, Thursday day off. So I took 60 tickets back to all the family. Friday team run in the stadium. Saturday, game day. You're escorted down the M4, which I was very used to going down. And you drive through Cardiff, and the Welsh fans are the best in the world. And there was 40,000 mad Welsh taffs in the street. You're driving through in a bus doing like 5 miles an hour with a police horse in front of you. Whew. And you just think, bloody hell, oh my God, you can feel it. And I had a tear in my eye on the bus. And you drive down the ramp, and you get your kit off the bus. You go into the stadium, and you see that shirt, Cap 1061, number 8. So you get out, you do the warm-up, you get back in, get the shirt on, you sing the anthem, notice mum and dad in the crowd, tear in my eye, and then you're ready to rip into the world champions. And it was like me playing against Bill Wells in a derby. Didn't bother me that they were world champions. I never phased anybody. 12 minutes into the game, I made the biggest mistake of my life. There was a guy called Backy's Boother.
Yeah. Hard man.
He was coming on this crash line. Brian O'Banner is having it out the back, so I'm thinking, right, I know what's happening here. He's going to run hard, he's going to block me, but I thought, it's going to go out the back. But I thought, it's a perfect opportunity to put a shot on him. So I flew out the line, I hit Backy's Boother that hard. He went up in the air, landed on his back. He went up in the air, landed on his back, and I want to guess, get the fuck up. you prick. They were the worst words I've ever said to that man. I've never seen a guy jump up like a 9-stone gymnastic person, and he said, my friend, I'm going to fucking kill you.
He's known for getting his revenge, right? Bucky?
I am not going to lie, I shit myself, and literally. And after the game, announced on the tannoy, Andy Powell, man of the match, first cap. And Sonia O'Loughlin was calling me over. She put the medal around my neck. She did an interview, and I looked to the right-hand side, and he's walking straight towards me. And I went even closer to Sonia O'Loughlin, and she goes, everything all right? I said, no, I've done something really bad, and I think he's going to punch me. Yeah. And fair dues to him, he comes up to me and goes, my friend, what a great game you played today, but I've not forgot about what you've done. I will get you fucking back. I think I'm never going to play against him ever again, with my record in playing. 2 years later, I signed for Sale. We pulled Toulon on the Heineken Cup. Bucky's supposed to have just signed for Toulon. I'm thinking, he's not going to play, doesn't know the calls, the language, he's only a week. So I'm in a change rooms with Mark Quato, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, shit, there he is. So I'm out there doing the warm-up on the halfway, and all I heard, my friend, we meet again. And I just put my thumbs up and just jogged straight back to the post. 78th minute into the game, I've avoided him. He's talking to me the whole game. I've gone for a jackal. I usually get up and do this, but I can't. I'm on the ball. And they say you should never lift your head up in a jackal. Well, all I could hear in a grass pitch was this.
Oh, no.
And I did lift my head. And there he was, 21 stone, 6'9". He hit me that hard in the sternum, pinned me on the floor with his big mitts, choked me, and he said, I fucking told you I'd get you back. But he's still texting me Christmas time now, saying how the family and stuff. So it's just nice by text, but verbal's very different.
On the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a notorious character. He's supposed to be a really good bloke, though, right? Just an animal.
Very religious. So probably wouldn't have twatted me actually. So.
Yeah, did you go for a beer with him as well?
We're going out to South Africa in October, doing a golf day, and we're catching up with him. So all the kids and stuff. So we're going to catch up with everybody, and that's the best thing about rugby. It doesn't matter what level you play at. Even at the top level, you kick shit out of each other for 80 minutes, and you've got the respect to go in the clubhouse after. No matter what happens, shake hands, and you can have a pint of cream flow and a pint of beer, and you just chill out. And it doesn't matter what level you play at. It's like that every level. And that's how good the game is.
That's a bit we all miss out of the game, yeah. You know, no matter what level you played. So it'd be rude not to bring this up then. So Wales, Scotland, the game was pretty special, right? Were Wales losing the game at the time?
Oh, right.
You're on about... For those that don't know, I think it'd be rude if we don't talk about that story.
Right.
But the game was pretty special as well, right? It wasn't just...
Yeah, it was a special game. I think Six Nations is a brilliant part of the, time of the year. You know, you spend so much Christmas time. You're looking forward to something to do, January. So we had Scotland, Millennium Stadium. I was starting 6, Ryan Jones at 8, Martin Williams 7. And I'd probably say it's probably the worst game I've ever played for Wales. I don't know why I got subbed after 55 minutes. Johnny Thomas come on, made a massive impact. And I'm thinking to myself now, I'm probably not going to start now throughout the rest of the games. And you're not allowed out in Cardiff if you lose. I was thinking about more than night out, really. And then Lee Burns scored that try. One of the Max Evans brothers broke his neck. So that was a shut period for 10 minutes on the pitch. And the clock had gone red. Wayne Barnes was reffing. And Patterson, who had a hit 10 minutes from the end of the game, had a ruptured kidney. He carried on the pitch. I don't know how. And Wayne Barnes said to Patterson, he goes, you have to keep this ball in the field of play. You can't kick it dead, otherwise it'll be a penalty. Not like what the South Africans are doing now. And we went 32 phases later, and Shane Williams, the smallest person to ever play the game, wasn't good enough, wasn't big enough, scored that try. And you can imagine it. I jumped off the bench like I won a World Cup final. And I said, we are fucking out tonight. And we did go out. So we go into the Hilton Hotel where we get looked after very well. 3-course meal. All the Scottish boys are not drinking. All the Welsh guys are just slamming wine, spirits, everything down. And Mike Phillips decides to get up on the stage. And I'm thinking, now, how's this going to go? And he put one of the best speeches in I've ever heard off Mike. until he goes, to all you Scottish players, I am absolutely gutted for you today. You should have won that game. But let's be honest, why are you not drinking? Because you're not used to winning fuck all. Well, I've never seen so many Scottish players necking glasses of wine. They were chasing Mike Phillips out the hotel at the end of the night. So we go into Cardiff, 3 o'clock in the morning. You've probably seen that picture of me in Walkabout with a
Shirt hanging off.
shirt, everything hanging off. And we go back to the Vale where the fans are still drinking, having a few drinks, went outside for a cigarette. Shane Williams used to love a cheeky dart. Gatlin likes a cigarette, so I give him a cigarette. Go back in, and I had my last cigarette. So I went out. Gats comes out and he goes, do you mind if I nick another cigarette? I said, Gats, I've run out of cigarettes. He goes, do you mind taking the car to get us a pack of fags? I said, there is no way I am driving a car. I'm on tramadol, because I've got bad neck. When you mix that with alcohol, you can do anything. And instead of looking to the right, I looked to the left. And to the left was a golf cart. So I went to the concierge and I said, is there any chance I can borrow a golf cart key to get my luggage, take my luggage from here to the room? He said, and I was outside. I had every single bit of that conversation. There is no way you're having a golf cart key. But this is the best thing. The night before, I was sharing a room with James Hook. The bulb had gone in the room. I went to the concierge the night before, got a flathead screwdriver. And my old man always told me, a Lucas key or a flathead screwdriver will start any machinery going in the world. So I got this flathead screwdriver, bottle of red wine in the middle, and I made my 45-minute journey going down the M4. So we left the Vale, camera phones on, but it was very dark, got onto the M4, roadworks were on. So I must have been thinking, so I put a bollard with a flashing light on top of the golf cart roof, but I didn't want to get twatted by a lorry.
That's smart.
And then, as we're going down the M4, there was lorries going past going, whoop, whoop, and I'm going back to him, weep, weep. So we come to junction 33, and we're just pulling up the hill, and this vehicle started to go, I'm thinking, shit, we ran out of fuel. So we managed to get on top of the forecourt. My mate's gone in to get the fags, lifted up the seat, undone the nozzle, put about 1.80 in it. That's when fuel was cheap. And now I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? And all I could see was this little aluminium plaque, and it said, this vehicle is battery propelled. So I'm thinking, now where the fuck is this fuel going? And then my mates come back out, put the seat down, and as I've got to get back in the cart, this copper has pulled up behind me. And my mate goes, we've got a chance here. I said, how do you work that out? I said, that car can do 155. We can do 8 miles an hour flat out. He goes, yeah, you've got a fair point. And then this copper shouted across the forecourt, Andrew. And whoever calls me Andrew is my mother when I've done something wrong, and that's plenty of times in my life. And he goes to me, what are you doing? I said, I don't really know. He goes, a great win today, by the way, Mr. Powell. He says, jump in the car, take you back to the Vale.
Oh, nice.
You don't get many bent coppers away. So I put the golf cart on top of the bank, and driving down the M4, and his sergeant gets on the phone going, there's somebody going down the M4 in the fast lane. I said, he is exaggerated way over the top there. I was in the hard shoulder. So he had to arrest me. We go into Cardiff, and I'd done it with a copper before. He refused when I got arrested. And I said, can you take me through a drive-through McDonald's? So I had 2 Big Macs, 20 chicken nuggets, took me into the station, fingerprint, swab test, locked my mate up, and then the sergeant goes to me, do you mind waiting up an extra 45 minutes? Most of the coppers have gone back to the houses for them to get balls and shirts for you to sign. I'm thinking, you serious? So I had another fag, cup of coffee, blew in the breathalyzer in the morning, 9:30, passed. Valentine's Day, Mum and Dad were in London.
Passed, as in sober?
Yeah, so I managed to get my Jag then and drive back home.
Oh, nice.
And then Mum rings me, she goes, darling, how are you? I said, well, I felt better. She goes, you'll get through this. You've been through worse than this. I said, good old Mum, gives me the positive feedback. I said, how's Dad? He's just walked out the restaurant. Typical Dad. And then that phone call which you dreaded by, which you don't want to answer, but you have to be man enough to answer it. Gatlin. He goes, how are you? I said, well, I felt better. He goes, what's going for your head? I said, well, you told me to take the car down in the first place, but I took the golf cart. He goes, what we're going to do, we're going to give you a 4-match ban, take your match fee away against you, which is 16.5 grand. I said, whoa, you take the 16.5 grand away from me, I'll go to the press and tell everybody you told me to take the car down in the first place. He said, right, you can have your 16.5 grand, see you in 4 weeks. That's the golf cart story, ladies and gents.
Oh, mate, awesome. Well, I'll take it. The only way that got in the press then is someone in the police leaking that story. Or
Well, I think they have to do
Welsh
it.
Rugby would have covered that up, right?
But I don't think it was. I think people were taking videos of me when I was going down the M4,
yeah.
so...
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
But I look back, and don't get me wrong, it's a stupid thing to do, a very stupid thing. I got kids now, and the worst thing about it is when you have to explain to your kids. And my eldest, going back a year, goes, Dad, was it you who took the golf cart? And I said, no, it wasn't me at all. I said, I've got a twin brother. I said, you need to ask my nan. So he rings Mum and goes, has he got a brother? No, he's just tucked you up. He goes, I've bloody thought that, Nan. But they know it. And in a way, I shouldn't have done it, but I didn't kill anybody. And, you know, it's a stupid thing to do, but it's probably what made me famous for the wrong things. You know, nobody recognised me anymore for rugby. They say, oh yeah, Andy Powell, golf cart. I went to Singapore 2 years ago. Bloody, are you the guy who took the golf cart in the M4? Nothing about my rugby career.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I am. And Tasha says, that's not a good thing.
You can dine out on that after dinner speech.
It is what it is. I'll live with it. And but I've chilled out. I haven't been arrested for 15 years, so I'm in a good place at the minute.
That didn't end your Welsh career, I take it?
No, I carried on playing after that. Well, I went to the World Cup. So, yeah, I had to work even harder to get back in there because I had to be squeaky clean.
When was the Lions for you then?
2009 to South Africa.
How old was you then?
Oh my God, I think I was 29, I think. But the golf cup was after the Lions. And then the World Cup, I didn't think I was going to get selected on the World Cup because of what happened in 2010. But I worked even harder because I didn't make the original squad. Toby Faletau, who was the young up-and-coming number 8, one of the best number 8, probably the best number 8, probably in the world. And he got selected over me, and Ryan Jones was selected in front of me. I went to Sale. And I could have easily said, right, fine, Welsh career over. And there was a guy called, he was an Aussie guy, and he said, the best way you can do it now is work even harder. I'm good friends with Gats. And they called me back in because Ryan Jones had a calf strain, and he was supposed to be starting against Argentina. And I ended up starting, scored the try, 23 tackles, 3 turnovers, and I got called up to the World Cup. And I think years ago, in my start of my career, I would have just given up and just said, bugger it. But I had that mentality, what I'd done originally in 2010, I thought, I have to prove people wrong, that I've got a mentality to get back on track. And that was probably a moment in my career where I thought, I've done something really good to prove everybody wrong. And I was trying to prove people, you know what I mean, after what I've done.
That was a bit of a highlight. That was one of the world's best.
Got to the semi-final, and
when Warburton was sent off.
Warburton got the red card. They used it as a scapegoat. Alan Rowland, given the red. It was a yellow card, but they had to use it on him to say, right, you cannot do a tip tackle.
We basically nearly won the World Cup.
And he only landed on his back.
We would have got to a final. Wales would have won that game.
We had a penalty to win the game, and nobody's fault. It was from 52 yards. I think it was Lee Halfpenny, and it scuffed the bottom of the crossbar. And New Zealand won the World Cup. And I can remember we all get together after the World Cup, and we all get to have a few beers. And all the All Blacks said, if you had won that semi-final against France, you would have absolutely smashed us in the final. Because at that time, I think that was where we were most physical. We were more physical than South Africans then. Yeah. And we were fit, quick.
One of the fittest teams.
And like you look at the side, Alan Wynne-Jones, Lee Halfpenny, George North, Jamie Roberts, Jonathan Davis. And I think what's happened why Welsh rugby's in where it is at the minute, and I'm not having a go at Gatland. Gatland's one of the best coaches I've ever worked under, and he doesn't deserve the shit he's been going through. But I think he played the best 15 week in, week out, in probably giving some young boys a chance coming off the bench. But I think it's more than that. I think it's more to do with grassroots level. People scouting the players to get through and have an opportunity to get to the toppest level.
Yeah, God, it'd be a long time if we try and sort the Welsh game out, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I'd keep out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on a bit of a comeback now, actually.
Yeah,
well, it was
win.
good for him to get the win, and I tell you, I was so happy for him. You know, you could see the joy in their faces, losing 18 games, and they won that game, what it meant to them. I just hope now, because when you're on that downward spiral, it becomes continuously, it happens all the time.
You probably wouldn't fit in now, would you, in the modern game? You're kind of a bit of a, in the nicest way, a bit of a throwback to...
Well, I think if I had... but I got kids, I think I got a different focus, but there's no characters around anymore. You know, you imagine people talking now about their stories. Well, we had a protein shake, we went back to the house and I washed my dog in the sink. You know, but that's what they want to do. I'm not knocking it. The world's changed. We all know different things have changed. It's a different world. Social media is a killer to society, but in the other way, it's brilliant for business and promoting whatever you do in your life. So it is what it is. I think we have to live with it, and you take...
We're still glad they weren't around in our days. Social media was, it's around now, but in our youth, God, it would have been trouble.
Keeps us honest.
Well, keeping on, obviously, the topic.
Best phones that he ever had out was a 6210.
Yeah.
No cameras on it. Brilliant.
What did you find the best experience, the Lions or Wales in the World Cup?
I think playing for your country is the best. I know the Lions is your pinnacle, but I think playing for your country at home, I'll always remember that moment playing against South Africa, man of the match. I know we lost the game by 10 points, but just the way everything went, and that was down to Gatland. And then he coached me on the Lions.
And the Lions tour, were you expecting to go on that? Did you feel like you had a shot?
Well, I think at the time, I'm not a big-headed person, by the way. I think I was playing some of my best rugby in my career, and I had a sort of an inkling that I was going to go, and I was the first back row player to be called out. But to be away for 7 weeks in South Africa, playing the world champions in their backyard, and we lost the series 2-1, and it was a brutal tour, especially playing them. They don't care. They don't care about you. All they want to do is hurt you. And you could see the injuries. Remember, to Adam Jones, dislocated shoulder, Gethin Jenkins, fractured cheekbone, Luke Fitzgerald gouged. But off the pitch, they're the most humble, nicest people you'll ever be. But on the pitch, they just want to smash you, which I quite liked, really, in a way.
Pretty special tour, though.
Pardon?
Pretty special tour.
Yeah, it was a special tour. You've got friends for life. And if you don't bump into them for 10 years and you meet them in a bar, it's like things have never changed. You start chatting about, remember that time? Yeah, I know.
Who was your best roommate or worst?
Oh, my God. Best roommate was probably Ronan Nagara, because he was a massive gambler. And I probably could get some good tips off him as well, but he was a great guy. I think, not the worst roommate. I think there was a guy called Jerry Flannery, and he was a hooker, played for Munster, one of the nicest guys ever. He dislocated his arm first week in training, and this is what happens on a Lions tour. You get injured, and you try not to go thinking about it, but it happened. And I felt so sorry, and I was in a room with him. So they operated on his shoulder, his other shoulder, and his wife wasn't flying out from Ireland, and I was sharing a room with him, and the doctor said, you're probably going to have to wipe his backside.
Just met him.
And, I didn't have kids at the time, and I've never experienced that moment, bar myself, and you don't mind wiping your own backside, but, I did feel a bit interrogated by, he probably did as well. And, a few sheets wiping it, and I guess, hi, Jerry. Yeah, thank you. And he was embarrassed, but, I can say I wiped his ass.
Some memorable nights out on that tour?
Yeah, some great nights out. Some wild nights out, yeah.
A lot you don't want to talk about.
Well, I can remember it was Victor Matfield's birthday, and we picked a few of the South Africans up on the second test, and we had a cake for him. I know it's wrong, we shouldn't do it, but, we're playing each other next week, so we got him a cake. And Mike Phillips hated the fact that we had South Africans on the bus. Typical Mike Phillips, he goes, I can't believe the fuck you've got South Africans on the bus. And he just chucked banana at Victor Matfield, chucking bananas at him. And Mike Phillips wouldn't back down to anybody. He goes, I will smash you the next test. And that's what happened. It all kicked off the next test. But and then I think he got a piece of cake and chucked it at him as well. But Mike's very different to me. Yeah, but a great. Maybe you have to get him on the pod.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a character, isn't he?
He is a good lad.
Might be myth again. Chatting to a friend of ours, didn't you used to have a framed picture of your dog next to your bed instead of your missus? Is that right?
No, well, I was single, but I had a bulldog, Barney, great dog. Yeah. I know it's a sad story, really, but I know about talking about your dog, but no. It was a good dog, he was. Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have.
And I buried him in my first Welsh cap. Shirt. Yeah.
That is a sad
Quite,
story.
yeah, it is. It's quite nice.
Let's bring it back up. But it's,
Yeah.
Feel bad.
Bit sentimental, yeah, it is, yeah.
What was your best night out then? Let's bring it back up. Best night out on any tour, or was it post-game?
Best night out, probably the golf cart.
That was it.
That's what made me famous.
Pretty famous.
Oh, I've had loads of good nights out. Well, I don't drink shorts anymore because I think my problem was I used to drink a lot of whiskey and vodka, and when you mix that with Red Bull, you get mixed effects, where I could have 15 pints of Guinness now, and I can get myself home, and I don't do any dull stuff. So I think I've grown up in life.
You'll go grow up one day, I mean.
Yeah.
We'll see what this Lions Legend tour brings. If we see some stories in the next few weeks, you'll know. Well, this will come out in a couple of weeks. So.
I think I will be behaved. Yeah.
Well, I suppose we can announce tonight you've been called back to the Lions, haven't you?
Oh, it'll be a great little story, wouldn't it?
But you are playing for the Lions next week.
Yeah, well, I was asked to do the Lions Legends, and I said to myself, I'm not going to do it. I'm not fit enough. I was about 19 stone 10, and I was lying on the couch, and my eldest goes to me, Dad, look at the state of you. And I thought, he's got a fair point. And I started jogging around the pitches, so unfit. And I've trimmed down 2 stone, pretty fit. You know, they got Drew Mitchell, Adam Ashley Cooper, Will Genia. Rocky Elson was supposed to be playing, the legend flag, but he's on a manhunt somewhere. I don't know what's happened to him. So I'm glad he's not playing. But we got Shane Williams, Dan Bigger, Alex Cuthbert, Cian Healy has just retired. Ryan Wilson, you know, and I'm just going to have the best time ever. You know, 2 tests on a Thursday, 27,000 people in Sydney watching. I think they've got a sellout in Melbourne. It's just going to be absolutely fantastic to catch up with old pals. I think we got a guy, captain, Shane Byrne, played Lions.
Yeah.
I think he's 53 and he's playing hooker. And he sent a picture the other day in the WhatsApp group with a cigar and a pint of Guinness. I thought, yeah, he's taking it serious. He is. But hey, it's going to be a great crack. I can't wait. I tell you something now, I haven't been more excited about going on a tour since 2009. And I think I've taken it serious because if your kids are going to be watching it, you want to try and impress them, because I said to him I'll score a kick, a try and a drop goal. So at least he won't get bollocked about doing a drop goal, will you?
Challenges on.
Imagine something happened to the Lions team and you actually got called up. Which has happened,
Like a lot of injuries.
Hey, how many beers have you had, pal?
Be a lot of back row injuries.
But no, it'd be good. I've got a few shirts. I'm going to go to the hotel, get them signed, and then put them on eBay for a few quid.
Nice.
But I can't wait. I'll be honest, I'm absolutely buzzing. I think everybody is. I don't think it's going to be as easy what people make it. I think this first test is going to be tough. They're going to chuck everything at us. I feel sorry for Jack Morgan, by the way, but
he's playing well. He'll get in there.
It is what it is. Farrell's, he's a great coach, and he knows what he's doing.
They picked the team to the referee, I think.
But he'll definitely.
I think we'll see Jack Morgan later on.
Jack Morgan will definitely be. It wouldn't surprise me if Jack Morgan starts the next 2 tests after this.
Awesome, Andy. I think we'll pull our bit to an end and get some questions from the audience. But
yeah,
mega,
great.
Mate. Thanks for
No, enjoyed you boys, eh?
Yeah, good
Brilliant.
luck. Brilliant, Andy. Awesome, mate. You ever get any questions there from before we go on? Right. Pete's got a couple of questions from the audience already. But if anyone's got any, please come in a bit closer and shout out. Just before we do the questions, I just want to say, obviously Andy's not the only celebrity we've got in the house tonight. We've actually got Catherine Zeta-Jones' sister just about to walk out of the room over there. Catherine Zeta-Jones' sister, younger sister, Lynn. She's over there. She will sign autographs later.
Right, mate. Best back row you've played with and best back row ever?
Oh, my God.
Or played against, maybe.
I'm going to say this guy only because he was such a character, probably a bigger character than myself. A guy called Jerry Collins.
Oh, mate, he was...
And he's not with us anymore. And it goes to epitomises what that guy's about, how he saved his daughter's life, how he jumped in the back of the car because he was out of control, and he jumped on top of this baby to save the kid. And I can remember playing against him, so physical, hard, scary. And I can remember when we finished the Welsh November meetings, the autumn internationals, and we used to go to this place in Bridgend, the Cups, beautiful view. And Jerry Collins is drinking 2 pints of lager, 2 double JD and Cokes. And he goes, I'm off. I said, we off? He goes, we're playing Leinster now in 2.5 hours. He gets man of the match. He comes back out on the piss with us, destroys everybody. So a few weeks later, I'm in Brecon, and I go to Crickhowell, the Beer Inn, where you two always stay when they used to come here and tour. And I could hear this Kiwi accent, and I look for the pillar, and there's Jerry Collins, and he used to go every Wednesday night. He'd go somewhere different in Wales, and you've seen him turn up somewhere, I don't know where it was, and he was playing rugby on a Saturday. We were supposed to be playing for the Ospreys. Sorry, down in Dorset he went, and he's got Barnstable socks on. Playing for Barnstable, where he should be playing for the Ospreys. But one of the best back row forwards ever. Tough.
Awesome bloke. Most overrated.
Oh, mate, you're slating someone there. You can't do that.
Most overrated?
It's a tough one.
Oh, myself. Because I'm not one for saying under people like that, but yeah, myself.
Modern rugby, has it like lost its way with all the red cards?
I think rugby's lost its way. I think they're just trying to change something. Yes, the dirtiness is gone, but that's good for the younger kids growing. You know, I think with the head injuries, I think that is getting better quietly. Yeah. But it's a physical game. Things happen, and you can't help what happens in a game. You know, it looks so easy on TV when you look at it. Oh, but when real life, when you're on that pitch, things happen and you can't change. But it's still a great game, but I think we need to market the game better, especially in Wales. I think in England it's in a good place, French rugby's in a good place. I think we need to do more in grassroots rugby in Wales. But I think there's more talent playing in lower levels, which are good enough to get to the top, but they're not going to look in.
No.
And it's who you know as well. And that's been a big factor.
That's across the game, isn't it?
I was from Brecon, and my mum used to drive me down to places, and I never got selected, but it was down to my hard work and determination. I'd want to show that guy from Cardiff or Swansea that I'm better than you. It's who you know.
Last one from us, and then we'll go for the audience. But best player then you ever played with? Could be any nationality.
I think I'd probably say Jonah Luma. I was very lucky enough to play with him in 2004 in Cardiff Blues. Played against him in sevens.
Icon of the game, right?
What a great guy. And he put rugby on the map. Most humble, down-to-earth person you'll ever meet in your life. And another guy who's not with us. And yeah, what a character and what a gentleman of the game.
Awesome. Well, thanks for everyone to listen. If anyone's got a question, yep, go on.
As a self-confessed late bloomer to international rugby, who's the best player to never to play for Wales?
Ooh. That'd be your old man, Pete, wouldn't it? He's pretty close.
Oh, my God.
There's always club players, isn't there, that don't make it?
Something's got in my head. Jonathan Davis, maybe. Jiffy.
What, to not play for Wales?
Oh, no, for Lions.
No. To never get
for Wales, sorry.
Like a good club player that never really got the international recognition.
There's loads, isn't there?
I probably will say it, and people will probably think, well, who is he? There's a guy called Ocean Davis from Brecon, played for Merthyr. The wildest player, tough, fit, fast. If somebody had got hold of him from a young age, because he was wild, they just ignored him. And people are probably thinking, who is Ocean Davis? He was an incredible flanker. Tough, a bit like Richie McCaw. And that's a massive statement to say.
He'll lock that chuck up.
And he will love it. A real good player. And one of my best mates as well, so give him a mention.
Yeah, Pete was a great player as well.
He'll put my fence up for me next week free of charge.
Back in the 90s.
Any more, guys? Well, mate, I got one more. I've seen you stepped into the boxing world recently. I've seen you step into the boxing world.
Oh, I did that a few years ago. I'm never doing it again.
So what's the next big thing for Andy Powell?
No, I'll be honest, I'm not looking for a next best... Well, the next best thing is probably going to be the Lions Legends. But one thing I really enjoy what I do, and I got my own academy, and I coach kids from 5, men's, women's, and I do that throughout the summer. And I tell you one thing now I love, is giving back to the younger generation and helping them. I think, in a way, it's probably sounded the wrong thing to say. I'd probably say I'm better coaching kids than I was as a player, but I think you just love giving back to the younger generation, and I think there's more professionals that I think need to do that. I think it's great for kids, you know, when they see somebody, and sometimes you get some kids going, "Are you the one who took the golf cart?" And I said, "Yeah," but I said, I'm a changed person.
Well, I used
now.
to play as well, yeah.
But you have to have the banter with the kids as well. You want kids to have character and have a bit of fun with. And I think that's what sometimes we're missing with kids. Let them have a bit of fun. Let them be themselves. Don't try and mollycoddle them too much.
Well, hopefully he's coming back a bit of old Henry Pollock. He's bringing it back a bit, and young English boy, he's getting a bit of grief though because of it. But he's someone who's bringing a bit of character back.
Yeah,
the confidence.
The big thing is don't put too much pressure on kids. Let them go and chuck the ball around and have fun. That's the most important part of rugby, having fun. And I think sometimes we forget about that and we go on the pitch with too much pressure on us. Just go down. If you make a mistake, who cares? Try and do something better the next time.
I reckon everyone probably already knows the answer, but if you could do it again, would you change anything?
I would not change anything again. I have done everything I wanted to do in my life. Never thought I'd do what I did in my life. Maybe there's a few... No. I've done everything I wanted to do. And I've had ups and downs. I love it. I don't regret anything.
Are you going to get a tattoo tonight?
You might regret that.
Because your mother said earlier on...
Don't let him get one.
I will, yeah, I'll get a small one.
I met Andy's mother earlier on, and it was a lovely lady, by the way. Andy's tattoo on his arm there is only half finished because he couldn't take the pain, according to his mother.
Cheers, Mum.
And she's warned him not to have a tattoo tonight.
I might get a little one, maybe on my toe.
Little lion.
But she won't see it then, will she?
Well, it's even better then. No, I'll get something small. Are you on one?
No, my mother.
He's got enough.
But, yeah, Lions legend.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah. I'll get on my toe.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, I love that.
Andy obviously hanging around, going to have a beer.
Yeah.
The band are on shortly as well, so do stay around, grab a drink, and thanks to Andy for...
I think a few people want pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I'm here for a while, so, hey, I'm going to have a few
well,
beers.
To the bar ends.
50 quid an autograph still, is that right?
No, that was Gavin Henson, that was. Yeah. Do you know who I am?
Guys, for those of you who are getting taxis back later, Andy's kindly offered to drive. Yeah.
Hey, I thought you would have taken the engines up the bikes.
Awesome, mate. Thank you, Andy Powell, legend. Well, we're just going to shift all this and then the band are on.